Doctor, look at me. What are you going to do?
What? I must! It's abhorrently dangerous! But, needs must. These creatures are practically time themselves, yet we have to travel through it, or it's all over. We have to swim across a river, but the water's going to fight back. Punch and kick and do absolutely anything it can to stop us.
So maybe we shouldn't go, if it's as dangerous as you say.
That's not an option. Whatever the consequences, and there will be quite a few, we have to take them. This may be a one-way journey, and I'm sorry mostly to you, old girl. Especially for putting you through this. But as my old friend Will used to say, we have to screw our courage to the sticking place. Or a more modern equivalent that, makes better sense.
Where are you taking us?
Back to where this began.
No, please. Please don't.
Georgie, don't make this harder than it has to be. Look at the scanner. At the state of the vortex, there are rips and holes in time itself. History is going to fall apart all because you had to save your father. I saw the psychotemporal link between him and one of the creatures. That must be broken. You should know I do this with the heaviest of hearts.
So to save everyone else, everyone who ever lived, you have to kill my father. Am I right? I want to hear you say it, Doctor. Come on. Do you really think you could do it?
Yes, Georgie. His life is tied to the creature. Scott has to die.
Whoa! What's wrong?
Massive turbulence, exactly what I warned you about. The creatures are fighting back. Ding ding! Round one! Right, let's show them we can give as good as we get. Georgie, helmet regulator to maximum. That red lever by your hand, then that thing that looks like a steering wheel. Keep turning it. It doesn't matter which way. Change directions at will. It'll just confuse them something rotten.
And what are you doing?
Feeding all the spare power that we have through the console. No need to ventilate the ancillary room anymore. Turn off the self-lighting candles in the library. Stop heating the swimming pool. Get ready to ram through the barrier.
What barrier?
Come on, old girl. Come on!
Did we do it?
Round one to us, I think. But we took some serious damage. What does the readout say?
This one? Massive Artron displacement.
Oh, that's not good. Mine says fault locator registers Zyton 7 deficit. Oh, great. Another visit to Varos. We've used up a lot of our fuel and we need to pick our vortex battles wisely.
If only your TARDIS had weaponry.
Never wish that. Never.
Sorry.
Okay, we're close to our destination. If we can pick the right path... Watch the monitor. If you see anything that looks like a large wave, holler. If the waters are clear, we go that-a-way.
You weren't kidding about how dangerous this is. That wall over there looks like it has a crack in it.
What? My ship? Where? No. Oh, no. Come on. No. What have those nasty creatures done to you? Well, at least the inner shell survived. Otherwise, we'd be at the mercy of the time winds. Look, just keep an eye on that screen or we die here and now.
Seems choppy on the left. But speaking of dying, what you said about my dad...
There's a path to the southern hemisphere of the last decade. That seems to be clear enough. And it's only a hop, skip and a jump there to where we're going. Let's hope we have enough fuel to last, otherwise we'll have to walk it. And I don't fancy doing that. Okay, here we go. Well, we've landed where we need to be. In order to save everything.
You're shaking.
So are you?
I'm scared.
So am I.
My dad. What are you going to do out there?
I'll put right what you changed. I'm going to salvage the timeline that you practically ruined.
Doctor, please.
You've left me no choice. If you had talked to me... Oh, if you had talked to me, how different things could have been. If I'd still been my previous me, that kindly old man trying to save the universe, would that have made the faintest shred of difference? Would you have opened up to him because you seem very reluctant to tell me anything?
That's rich. You're a closed book now. What did you expect me to do exactly? How was I supposed to bring up the fact that my father had died? He was one of the only people who mattered more than life itself. You've never been one to sit down and chat, and I get that. From what I saw of the Time Lords, they aren't that big on feelings. And I was okay with that, to a degree. But someone else could give me what I wanted when you couldn't. And my father is out there now, alive, because of me. so don't expect me to apologise for that.
I don't want to have to do this, Georgie, but you've painted me into a corner and I am literally out of choices. And I hate this.
Don't do it. He's my dad.
Please don't beg.
I don't think there's anything else I can say.
Then maybe we stop talking. Because I don't know what to say either. You've known me for long enough to know that this isn't how I do things. I'm the doctor, not the executioner. You should stay here.
Because you think I'll cause more trouble for you.
Because you've been through enough. And there are some things you just can't unsee.
Doctor! Doctor! No! Let me out! Let me out! What do you mean? What are you going to do? Dad!
Is this the right room? Ah! Yes, Mr. Darlington Cook.
And who are you?
I'm Dr. Quinn.
Medicine woman? You aren't my usual doctor. Where's Dr. Clunes?
Well, they're busy at the moment, and we just need to go through a few things, just for a test, all routine stuff like that, of course,
Sure, anything you need, if you think it will help.
Thank you, Mr. Darlington Cook.
Just call me Scott. Everyone else does.
Scott. Huh. So, Scott, how are you feeling today?
Not bad, not good. Are you new to this? You seem nervous.
Not long out of med school, if you can believe it.
Well, you seem a bit too...
Old?
Experienced. I feel like you've seen a fair bit.
Well, that's frontier life in Colorado for you.
You get that joke often? Sorry, it's just my wife loves that show. We nearly called our daughter Michaela because of it. You can ask me whatever you need to. It'll be fine.
I just wanted to check your medication, see that the dosages were right.
I asked Nurse Jenkins about upping some of them. The pain comes and goes. Some days are worse. It's more of a dull ache. Keeps me awake at night. She said I needed to talk to, well, I guess, you.
Let me check the charts. Now let's see. Yes, good.
I hadn't said anything before because my family were around. I didn't want them to know how bad it is.
Shielding them from the worst of it, that I understand. There is something that we could try. Just let me adjust these controls. How much morphine are you allowed?
Doesn't it say on the chart?
Well, I just wanted to be sure that you knew. Lucidity is one of the things I'm supposed to check, but I'm not sure that's necessary here. You just need to press this button and it should ease the pain.
Thank you, Dr. Quinn.
It's the least I could do. No one should have to suffer.
Is that why you became a doctor?
One of the reasons, yes. Goodbye, Scott. I do wish you all the best.
You too, Doctor. Just press the button, he said. All right, then.
You monster! Murderer! How could you? Call yourself the Doctor! I hate you!
Let it all out, Georgie. Hit me, slap me, just throw a chair at me. I don't let people usually get in a free shot, but you can have as many as you like.
You killed my father!
Who said I did that?
But the scanner showed. Outside the hospital. The one where Dad...
Have you been fiddling with these controls? Yes, I did go to see him. I even had it figured out how I'd... but I couldn't go through with it.
But I thought... You said it was the only option.
I don't think I could ever sacrifice my morals, even to save everything. How could I harm someone, end their life? Never. I will never be that person again. I think actually I might have helped him. Nothing much, just lessened his pain, maybe pushed his chances in the merest fraction in the right direction.
Thank you.
Whoa! Whew!
What was that? Felt like something hit us.
Smart money's on those creatures. They figured out where we went. Knew how much damage we could do here. I told you we were in for quite a bit of trouble from them. This is the beginning of the war.
Do we stand a chance?
I don't... I'm sorry. I know I should have all the answers, but I feel like I'm letting everyone down. Georgie,
I should go outside. Confront them. I started this. I should end it.
With the amount that you're shaking right now, it'd be a miracle if you could open the door at all, let alone do anything else. Plus, the creatures could unleash another bombardment at any time. Walking out into that would do a lot more than just erase you from time. I can't let you risk that.
I have to.
Now is not the time to put a brave face on. I know what you're suggesting, and the fact that you would even consider it's astonishingly incredible. You've always been marvellously strong, if not a little blockheaded.
And look where that's got us.
How much of the other timeline do you remember? The versions of events that got us here.
The one where I betrayed your trust.
The one where you moved heaven and earth to get your father back.
Bits and pieces. Flashes of people and places. Natasha, Marston Grange, Leonie's last words. Gondola races in Venice. Brilliant, terrible things. Why?
Did you see those creatures in that timeline?
Yeah, I must have done. I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. Memories are colliding. I can't tell what's real for this timeline and what belongs elsewhere.
But what else could have given you that power? There must have been something there.
You've thought of something.
By jingo, I have. But you have got to think, and you have got to think hard. How many of them were there? 1 or 2?
1. I remember a laboratory. You and someone else. Only 1 creature. Why does it matter?
Because there are now 2. There must have already been 1 creature providing the power to bring your father back. Scott being alive created the second creature, but there would have been another massive paradox needed to create the first one. And they would have had to have been separate, otherwise you get some strange, weird, conjoined, mutated being.
So whatever created the first creature had nothing to do with us?
Precisely. Someone else out there can help us. Another origin point where we can stop them. Which is why I'm locking onto another focal point for the temple disruptions. Now, let's see where this takes us, eh?
Come here, darling. It's going to be okay. It's only a stomach bug.
I know. Stop fussing, Mum.
I can't help it. I just don't like it when my little soldier isn't feeling well.
I'll be fine.
Best to keep you out of school today, though, to be on the safe side. No arguments from you on that one, eh?
Don't want anyone else getting ill.
Yeah, like that's the main reason. You need to keep your fluids up and get plenty of rest.
That's the 3rd time you've told me this morning.
Well, you can't blame me for caring.
It's just a tummy bug.
Jacob, I won't be able to do this forever. One day you'll be too old for your mother to look after you like this. Now, maybe I could read to you?
No thanks, I'll go to bed.
Fine, but I don't want to catch you gaming. No Fortnite or whatever it is you're obsessed with.
Yes, Mum.
Best check my emails. See if anything new has come through in the last 5 minutes. Nope, nothing. No change from the last few weeks. Maybe I haven't heard back because they aren't interested. Maybe I should just give it up.
Suburbia? Ugh. Might not look special, but it's often where the most interesting people live. Behind that door is someone remarkable.
In a good way or bad remains to be seen. Want to do the honours?
Hello?
Ah yes, hello, so lovely to meet you. I'm the doctor.
Doctor? I didn't call for one, so you must be here about the grant application. Come in, come in.
Yep, that's us. Grant application. Play along.
Yes, thank you. This isn't my first rodeo. Why don't you talk us through everything?
You've seen my application though, right?
Of course we have. It's just...
Better to hear it from the horse's mouth, if you'll excuse the phrase.
No, I completely understand. Nothing beats how alive the science gets when you hear it, if you'll excuse the pun.
Well, all puns are excused, but more than that, they're encouraged.
I'm applying to your foundation because I want to tackle the next major scientific hurdle humanity is facing. Death.
Oh, please don't say you want to end death.
Nothing so ambitious. I want to cross the boundary between life and death.
So you want to contact the afterlife?
In a manner of speaking, but perhaps more importantly, I want to bring people back. Since we're all in this same field, it should be obvious how close we as a species are to reaching this exciting milestone. We're right at the edge of the discovery, but we need a little help diving in and unlocking the mysteries of the other side.
Which is where we come in. You need funding.
That's precisely why I applied for your grant. This is a strange interview. You keep looking at me like you don't know anything.
That's just his normal face.
Oh, we can talk turkey if you want. It's been a long while since I've had a good, long, detailed discussion about Reinhardt's theory of the binary stage of devolution, or Sandringham position on the retrograde anti-muon decomposition.
The Leringan state of multi-death.
Oh yes, that's a very interesting paper.
I can't say I've heard of that last one, but I worked with Reinhardt on his research, and I think he's remarkably close to the truth. Though I'm concerned some of his conclusions veer too much into the spiritual. And Sandringham, well, I have my doubts. Suggesting we harness the shifting states of subatomic particles to counteract the potency of cellular decay? Maybe it's a bit far-fetched. But if any of us could find decent backing, we could look into each theory in more detail, come up with a scientific consensus that would allow us to move forward. Sadly, as with so many things, it boils down to money.
Did you hear that? Another rip?
Out there, in my garden, right by the swing set.
I'll go sort that out. It's best you two stay here. The Chetnivores would make very light work of you, and I'll be right back.
This might be a silly question, but have we met before?
Get back! Get off! Get up! Back off, you dreadful beasties! Come on, get in! Nothing to see here. There's something far tastier in that rip in the vortex. Why don't you go back that way?
You can't win, Doctor.
I am the king of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. If it was an Olympic sport, I'd have all gold medals. So all these empty statements are just that. You cannot win indeed.
You could not kill Scott.
No, and I won't.
And you won't kill Jacob. You are weak. You will fail.
Emotions aren't a weakness, not ever. And I will always care, always. And you won't have to turn me into a killer. Love and compassion is always the way forward. I look forward to telling Jacob all of that when I meet him. Was that a slip of the tongue? Or was it? I can't even figure out what I do or don't know yet, what with time being out of whack and all. And are you really that confident in yourselves? Jacob, along with all of humanity, is going to live.
The time is ours.
Everything okay out there?
All fine, all dealt with, for now.
I've never seen anyone do anything like that before. Most people run and hide when those things appear.
Dr. Durant brought through some of her notes. I've had a look, but since you're the more technical part of the team, I thought you should check them out too.
Thanks. And then, let me see here. What are you trying to build? No. Don't tell me. I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. Let's see. A Star Destroyer? No, this is a primitive reanimation engine.
Primitive? Do you really think so?
As a first attempt, it's marvellous. And don't think I'm being overly critical. You are leaps and bounds ahead of your colleagues, and please do not tell them that I said that. They will be so jealous. But now I've seen this, I'm only missing one puzzle piece. Durant, may I be so bold as to ask if you know someone by the name of...
Mum, I heard a funny noise.
Probably the doctor's voice.
Hello there, who are you?
I'm Jacob.
Fancy a sweet? I used to have a thing for jelly babies, but I think my tastes have changed somewhat. Toffee penny? Mint humbug? Now I've got all of them.
Thank you.
Sweetheart, what noise did you hear?
What? Creaking?
Did you just want to see who is here with me?
No. Can I have some milk, please?
Go on then, but back to bed.
Was that your son? He seems lovely.
Yes, really very sweet. We should be going. We've got plenty to think over.
I should probably tell you in the name of complete disclosure that money is a little tight, and well, if the funding doesn't come through soon, I'm going to have to do something else. I've been offered a job at a pharmaceutical company. They like my credentials, and the pay is good.
Good to know. Best be off. Ta-ta.
Mr. Durant, could you give us a moment?
Sure, I'll go check on my son.
What's wrong? I thought this was the right place. Why are you so eager to get out of here all of a sudden? Have you figured something out?
Well, when Jacob walked in, I saw everything. The other version of events that we drifted away from. He died, and that loss gave Durant the drive to ensure that her research reached a fruition. But not only that, it gave her a motive that the creatures could easily work with.
She wanted her son back. So it isn't Durant. Jacob is the link. You don't think they had anything to do with his death, do you?
They were their own self-fulfilling paradox. Kill the child to force Durant's hand to bring them into being, so that they could kill the child only to offer her the option of bringing him back. Temporally complex, but plausible. And now she's going to give up because no one will help her. She's got no support and a son to look after. There's no impetus to lose herself in bringing back the dead when the living are more important.
She clearly cares for him a great deal.
I know, I said it was the only option. Destroy the link, destroy the creatures. And that means killing your father and young Jacob. It's barbaric, and they know I won't do it, and there's absolutely no way, no how that I would do anything to hurt a child.
So they've won?
Everything okay?
Sorry about him. I think it's the stress. I'm sure we'll see you again. Bye.
Strange people.
There's no need to take your frustrations out on the TARDIS console.
I know! I just feel so useless. I'm annoyed at myself for how I handled my visit with Scott. Maybe I could have done more.
This isn't your fault.
Oh, if only he'd get better on his own. None of this would happen. Wait. Did I just stumble on something? Say it back to me.
What? Your offhand comment about Dad getting better on his own?
That would unravel the paradox at its base. Plug the spring and you stop the water. Ah, that's it, of course! My mind was working on the wrong metaphor. I was thinking we needed to remove the foundations to topple the building.
The building representing the creatures?
Yes, but maybe, just maybe, it doesn't need to be so drastic. If we make it so there's no need for the initial paradox, we write them out of existence rather than end it now. Give them a taste of their own medicine and change the way that time works around them. Devious, but doable.
So what? Make her do them?
Give her a few pointers after I prove how awesome I am.
Sounds a bit arrogant.
Look, would you listen to me if you thought I was some random crazy person claiming to know better than a scientist who has devoted their entire life to a subject? No. But what if I proved my credentials and demonstrated that I'm a being from a scientifically more advanced society?
You're going to materialize the TARDIS in her house, aren't you?
Her kitchen, to be precise. Nothing screams listen to what I'm saying more than a big blue box appearing out of nowhere.
But what does this mean for Dad? Doctor?
What the?
Ha! Surprise!
You two? But how?
We lied. We aren't from the Foundation.
We're from somewhere far better, as proved by the appearance of my magical mystical craft, the TARDIS.
Do we have time for the proud as punch, lapel-holding, beaming smile thing?
Quite right. May I look at your research notes again? Thank you very much. There was something I was particularly interested in.
This thing is incredible. What is it? A teleportation pod?
And then some. It travels in time and space when they both still exist. Currently, it's a little more than the fancy stage trickery the Doctor deployed it as. And it's bigger on the inside.
Oh, you got dimensional transcendentalism to work? Mosley and Digby would be so disappointed you beat them to it.
Don't tell them, it'll break their little hearts, especially when they are so close. But you didn't hear that from me. Oh no, son. Now here are the reanimation engine plans, just what I was looking for.
Hey, what are you doing?
Making a few slight adjustments to give you a helping hand in the right direction. One scientist to another, of course, but yeah, don't say nothing, Gav, think nothing of it. Durant these figures, how did you... Oh, I see, you haven't factored in the broccoli coefficient.
You get that from factorising cauliflower, right?
It's a surname, like the film producers, but no relation. But you won't hear anything about that for a few years, so you weren't to know, and if anybody asks...
Deny this meeting ever took place?
Precisely. I'm giving you all the credit. All I have to do is alter a couple of these calculations and... You've left a blank space here where the solution should go. Durant, you are clever.
I couldn't figure it out. The calculations wouldn't work, but I didn't know why.
Because the science hasn't been discovered yet, and now it's solved.
I've been struggling with that for months, and you've just figured it out like it was nothing. And I see you've made a couple of other changes.
Oh, just plugged a couple of holes in the system, just make sure there were no bugs getting in.
Or creatures of any kind?
Precisely, that's the plan, so under no circumstances are you to ignore the pencil scribbles, especially the doodles.
Why are you doing this?
Just speeding the process along. I have no doubt that you would have got here on your own. I'm just offering you the slightest nudge in the right direction. All you have to do is to keep mum about this.
So is that it? Have we saved the day?
Saved the day? From what?
From them.
Look out the window. There's giant rat things.
The Cheknovors are back.
And they're swarming around the house. They're covering the windows. Surely the glass will break and they'll come flooding in.
To add to the blighters already in here. God, get off! Get off! Get out of it!
Mom, they're everywhere!
Come here. I've got you. Stay behind me. I won't let those things get you.
Quickly into the TARDIS. We'll be safer in there. There are enough Cheknovors massing to smother us if they don't devour us first.
But it's just a wooden box. Won't they eat through it like termites?
That's just what the outer shell looks like. The TARDIS is impervious to attacks, right? It's practically impossible to destroy.
I don't like the sound of that. Practically.
Doctor, please say something encouraging. Wait, where did you get that phone from? Who are you calling? Who can help us?
Not us, but Duran. Oh, hello, yes. Hello, it's the Doctor here. Who? What do you mean, who? The definitive article, you might say. The big kahuna. The crazy bloke with the impeccable fashion sense. You know, only the bloke that saved the universe a couple of times. Look, I don't suppose you can put me through to the Brigadier, could you? Lethbridge Stewart? Vanbearer? Crichton? Look, I'm not particularly fussy. Any of them will do.
Doctor, I can't help feeling this isn't the priority.
Sorry, but it is. If I can get UNIT to secure funding for Durant, then we can break her link with the creatures, then the thing that happened in the other timeline doesn't need to happen to spur her on.
You're changing history.
Yes, because it's the hand that you dealt me. Hello? Hello? Oh, hello, old friend. How you doing? Oh, you sound so well. Look, I haven't got time to talk, so we'll just cut the niceties. Code NQR4E2Z. The name's Durant. You should have noticed her by now. Support her. She's good people. She's got the Doctor seal of approval. Get it? Got it? Good. And stick the kettle on. I'll try and be round soon, hopefully around this decade. Toodles!
Was that supposed to achieve something?
It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Did any of you touch any of the controls? Jacob, I won't be angry.
It wasn't me. Look on that screen. Ugh, they're nasty.
The creatures, they're back.
Stop this.
I see why you tried to goad me before. Didn't want me thinking about it too much because killing was the obvious answer, but you saw in Georgie's mind that I'd never sink to doing that. You knew that if you kept on pressing my buttons, you'd distract me for long enough to take me out of the equation. Sorry, I'm smarter than that. Yeah.
Let us live.
Not if you're going to cause such havoc. Normally, I'd offer to drop you off somewhere so you couldn't do any more harm. But the only place I can actually think of is a timeless vacuum. And that would mean a slow, painful death for you. And I really don't want to be responsible for that.
Better to have lived than lost.
Misquoting Tennyson? Maybe you are becoming human. And that's what you wanted, isn't it? And you're definitely selfish enough to fit the brief.
There's no call for that.
Really? Isn't that partly how this started? I'm alright, I've got what I wanted. Who cares about anyone else?
That's not fair. Doctor, this sensor. It says the outer walls are taking too much damage. The Cheknivores are eating their way inside.
Mummy, I'm scared.
It's okay, Jacob. I won't let anything happen to you.
Jacob, old chap. See that door over there? Go through there, then the first door on your right. You'll like what you find, I promise.
Mummy?
Go on, sweetie. What's in there? I should have asked before letting him go.
Panic room meets play area, of course. I think there's a ball pit in there. I think that's where the rabbits are, too. The ship will do everything that she can to protect children. Meanwhile, we stand and we fight. End this before time runs out.
Georgie understands.
Oh, no. You don't get to talk to her. Not this time.
Then we appeal to you.
Me? That's a complete and utter waste of time.
We have seen inside your mind.
Doctor?
We can rewrite your deaths. Give you more life.
Well, that would be wrong.
We could save you from the vampire.
The past is the past.
Katrina, Sarah, Mark.
Now what? Offering to bring my friends back to life? I'll grant you, that is more tempting. They all deserve to live so much longer. But it's still a no. No matter what you offer, no matter who you offer to save, no matter what mistakes of mine that you offer to fix, the cost is always far too high. Far too high.
They're moving. How are they doing that?
Phasing from the vortex into the ship. They've done so much damage to the web of time that everything is in flux.
The scanner, look at it! That's Earth!
But those ruptures, they're everywhere. They're going to swallow the planet.
Your whole world is ours.
If you can't have it, no one can, eh? Okay, then I guess we have to face the unpleasantness. Durant, I'm sorry, but this is your fault. You brought those creatures into existence.
That's not possible.
I'm sorry, but it is. They saw how clever you are, how close you were to the answers that they needed to be born, and pushed you in the right direction. They believed in you when no one else did, and that is precisely what you needed. In your desperation, you signed your soul to the devil. Well, devils. And you gave them exactly what they wanted in exchange for exactly what you wanted.
Desperation? What are you talking about? What could I want from those creatures?
Jacob! It was Jacob! He was ill, wasn't he? Or an accident? I can't remember. It's still a blur. But he died, and you wanted to bring him back.
I don't believe you.
Touch them. See what they see.
And then we just had to pull this lever, and presto, the dead shall rise again.
If I have to live forever, attached to this time and many creatures so adorable, I refuse to do it alone.
Mum, don't. This isn't an easy decision. I know you want me to agree to Durant's offer, but I'm torn.
Georgie, Andrea, we need your decision. What do you want us to do? It can't be! How could I have done that?
We're all prepared to do desperate things when we lose loved ones. You thought it was for the best. So did I.
Durant, Georgie, I know you are good people, capable of so very much. But what you did, you can never do again. Look at that world. Think about the billions of people on Earth right now, all terrified out of their minds. Georgie, your parents, think about them. What you did led to this.
Doctor, the Cheknovors. They're getting in.
There are hundreds of them. Thousands. What do you want us to do?
Look at the scanner. The Earth is nearly gone.
I'm sorry. I needed my dad back. But if this is the cost...
I agreed to something I shouldn't have. I went along with it rather than be brave and say no. I knew something was wrong with that creature, but I didn't see another option.
Wait! Look! They're fading! That's it! Take responsibility! Own those mistakes! It will weaken the creatures, enable me to trap them in the paradox of their own creation. Touch the console, link yourself to my ship through the psychic circuits. Give her the strength she needs! We must present a united force!
Dad, I'm sorry. I love you so much. I did this because I thought there was nothing without you. But now I see that isn't fair. The world shouldn't end because you died. This is my fault.
This is our fault.
You thought you could tempt me with the past and destroy my future. And you almost got away with it. But the doctor's right. He's always right.
Look at us, you creatures. Look us in the eye. You tempted us and we succumbed. Maybe that was foolish of us. Maybe that's what being human is. But not anymore. You give us another chance and we won't do it again.
Want to know why? Because I know exactly what my dad would do if he knew. If he knew I was ripping the universe apart to have him back. He'd say, "It's okay, honey. It's time." And he'd go. He'd give himself up to save everyone else. He'd do it to save just one person. I know that. I always knew that. And I was being selfish. We have to be strong, accept the world, look it in the eye, and keep going.
This is your fault.
Ha! Miss me! And did you hear that? They're out of sync. No longer speaking as one. You're doing it! You're fighting back, and they're losing. Look at you go, quite possibly the only humans to ever scare a paradox off. Ooh, see the Cheknovors! A moment ago they were nipping at your heels.
Now it's like they aren't interested in us. They're moving away towards the creatures.
Stay away.
They're fracturing like a ball of string being unwound from the centre. The paradoxes that created them are being unwritten. That bolt of energy was barely enough to bruise the console, let alone do any real damage. Their power is fading. Get in!
The Cheknovors. What are they doing to the creatures?
Draining their life force. Horrible way to go, but a problem of their own creation. The creatures made the paradoxes, and the paradoxes in turn made the Cheknovors appear. Now you're changing time back through sheer force of will.
The power of the human heart.
Precisely. I've always believed in it, and while you do that, I can unweave all the paradoxes. Like untangling a world's worth of knotted headphones. Takes patience, skill, and a very strong eye. Good thing I've got two. And another, and another. The more we do this, the more your very soul and resolve keeps them rooted to the spot, unable to flit about and cause more havoc. Because the both of you are so dedicated to a better future. Oh yes! Barely even felt the come at me, boy! Like a weak breeze, you've really got 'em now, Georgie and Durant.
But if the paradox that birthed them is being unwritten...
How can they still be here?
Precisely what the Cheknovors want to know, hence their sudden change of interest.
Why were we not worthy of life?
Everything is worthy of life. It's just how you live it. You were greedy, tyrannical, you had to be stopped.
There's barely anything of them left now. Good riddance.
They were children with almighty powers. We can't be surprised they didn't use them for the right reasons. Look at what happened when we had the same power, the terrible choices we made.
Which is why I'm willing to offer them a lifeline. Can you hear me? I will create a time loop for you in the heart of the TARDIS. It can be your new home. You can live there for the rest of eternity, but you will never be able to leave. You will have each other, but that is it. What do you say?
Yes, save us.
Save us,
Please.
please.
May your spirits sleep in peace.
That was kind of you.
Well, what's the point in carrying on if you can't be merciful?
They're gone. They're all gone. The creatures and the technivores.
There's nothing left for them here.
I take it it's safe for us to leave?
Of course. Your house is just outside. I'll arrange for someone to fix the windows.
Jacob?
That room is awesome. You have the best toys.
I thank you, my boy, and I spend a lot of time in there myself, and I got really good with Lego, though. Don't tell anyone about the game's consoles, okay? Just the PlayStation 6, just it's a bit after your time. That's just between me and you, okay? Okay, good lad.
Say goodbye, Jacob.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You fiddled with her research.
Not massively. It was just a nudge in the right direction, away from anything too dangerous. I mean, what she said about humanity being on the cusp of discovering that it was right. So, it was only the slightest change to history to ensure that there was actually a future left.
Earth is still on the scanner screen.
And it hasn't been swallowed up by temporal ruptures, so that's a win. In fact, they're all closing up. Because of you. You, Georgie, saved the world one last time.
But I got it in trouble in the first place, too.
Well, nobody's perfect. Come on. There's somewhere we need to go.
It had to be here, didn't it?
This is where the journey has to end, Georgie. I'm sorry.
I can remember the other timeline now. 2 sets of memories are in my head. But my version, it's like it's fading. It's the real version of events reinstating itself, isn't it? Will I forget? That extra time I got with Dad. Will I remember it?
In pieces, like a particularly vivid dream.
Surely it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. But I wish for once it would.
Is he still alive?
Yes, but there's nothing I can do to change his condition. I can't give you years and years, but I can give you some time. The only thing left to do is to be with him.
Then I have to go.
Wait, Georgie, mate, before you do, I just wanted to say that, look, you know I'm disappointed in what you did, but I really do understand. I may not feel the same way that you do, but I do have feelings. I do know what love is. And I just wish you could have spoken to me. That we could have found some way to... I don't know. Just talk it through. Find a better way.
I'm sorry. I really am. After everything you showed me, everything you taught me, that was the first lesson, wasn't it? Don't meddle in time. And I ignored it. Not the best student you've ever had, I suppose.
If you think that was the first thing that I taught you, then no, definitely not so. Nice to know you were paying attention. The first thing that I wanted you to learn was to think of others before yourself. And in a way, you did exactly that. You thought of your father. So before you start chastising yourself, I want you to know this. You have grown so much since we first met. I think we both have. Go on. This is your chance to be with your father. I will wait right here.
Thank you. Dad!
Georgie, sweetie, what's the rush? What you running for?
I Wanted to get here as soon as I could.
Well, I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you, too. I thought I might sit with you for a bit, spend some time together.
That would be nice. Have a seat. There's something I've been thinking about I want to say to you.
Oh? Okay.
I'm so proud of you, Georgina, and I'm happy the company will be in your capable hands going forward.
Oh, Dad, you don't need to say that.
Oh, but I do. Because I haven't said it enough, and I don't know if I'll get a chance to say it again.
Don't say that.
We can't ignore it any longer, sweetie. Just, I love you so much. Your mother, too. Take care of her, Georgie. This has all been too much for her. She needs your strength.
Yes, of course I will. I promise. Dad...
Yes, honey?
I... thank you. Everything you've done, it means the world to me.
You're my daughter. You mean the world to me. You always will.
You look tired. Is there anything I can get you?
Yes, I suppose I could do with some sleep. Hand me that extra pillow, would you? Ah, that's more comfortable.
Rest well, Dad. I love you.
Oh, give over. That's not fair. Look, this is why I do not play Monopoly with you. You always find a way to get hotels on Park Lane and Mayfair. I end up bankrupt in moments. Ah, Georgie, you're back. I think it's time, don't you? I'll take you home.
I thought about this moment, whether I should ask for another chance, to go and see one more place. But I can't do that. That isn't my life anymore. I'm done running from the real world. I need to go home. I need to be with Mum.
I'm glad to hear that.
I wanted to thank you for everything. You saved me from Russia and the Cybermen all those months ago, and you've been saving me from myself ever since. I needed you, you know. I couldn't cope, and being with you was everything to me. I don't know if I want the answer to this, but do you regret taking me with you?
Regret? Oh, Georgie. Georgie, I chose to keep you around. No, I wanted to keep you around for all that time when I'm sure I could have found anywhere to drop you off. We did some good together, eh? Maybe we should focus on that. In fact, no, we should focus on that. And I'll check in on you. Nip in time to time, say hello, have a cuppa.
That's sweet, but I'm not sure if you will. You might intend to now, but who knows what the future will hold? And we both know you can't steer this thing properly. I will miss it.
As will I.
We've landed.
Home sweet home. At least it should be. Take a peek. Just check it isn't some kind of abandoned moon base.
Yep, that's the kitchen. You're welcome to stay, but I get it if you'd rather not.
Best not. I mean, you know I am really, really not good at goodbyes.
Who is? How about until we meet again?
Seems appropriate.
And preferably with that face. I'm not sure how I feel about there being 3 of you out there.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, I know there are probably countless versions of you somewhere. I just mean, don't die. Keep being you. This you.
I'll do my best. Until next time, Georgie.
Bye, Doctor.
Be good. Good? What am I talking about? The woman's brilliant.
Right, I think that's it for today. Jennifer, don't forget to chase the council if necessary. And Brian, have we had any word from Reuben about the Philadelphia deal yet? No, didn't think so. Give him a few more days, then drop him a line. Good. Unless there's anything else anyone wants to bring up. Brilliant. See you all next week then.
Don't forget your trip to Brussels next week. Georgie, you seem distracted. Still thinking about your father?
They say time heals all wounds, but I'm not so sure about that. I don't think there's an end to grief, just that there comes a time when the loss isn't all you think about. I miss him. I miss Dad with every fibre of my being, but no, I was thinking about the doctor. A friend of mine. I'm not sure if you met him. He would have been around for the funeral, but he had to go. He's always travelling.
You knew him well.
We spent a lot of time together. He showed me a few of the sights. I'll miss it, the exploring and adventuring. But I'm glad I'm here. I think we both knew it was time for me to come back home, for life to go back to normal.
Sorry, am I interrupting? I thought maybe we could grab some dinner, if you're free, Georgie.
I can sort all of this out. You go.
Thanks, Rowan. OK, Mum, I'll be with you in a minute.
I'll wait outside. Nice to see you, Rowan.
You too, Andrea. Hope you're well. See anything interesting out the window?
I was just... You'll think it's silly.
I promise, I won't laugh.
I was looking for a flying blue box. But it could be anywhere, any when. I wonder who we'll end up travelling with next. Good luck, whoever you are. I'm sure you'll have the time of your life. I certainly did.